In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. For this Bill of Rights project, Shagun and I chose to do the 7th Amendment. Basically, what the 7th Amendment states is that trial by jury is a legal right within civil cases concerning an amount of more than $20. So a civil case is kind of like suing someone. Back then, when 1700s, the value of $20 was a lot, but nowadays it isn't too much. Criminal cases is when the government prosecutes you for a crime. Now, this also limits a judge's power to overturn a jury's decision. We're going to be answering the questions, and also there's one court case that we're going to examine. Question 1. Why was your particular amendment, the 7th Amendment in this case, necessary when it was written?
The 7th Amendment was included in the Bill of Rights for several basic reasons. One reason was because the American colonists had a long period of time of not being allowed jury trials by the British government, and they felt that that was unfair. Americans were unfairly treated, and they decided that they would not let that happen again. Another reason why the 7th Amendment was created was because it was the colonists' way of protecting themselves from unjust laws. It protected them from unjust laws because if the jury said that the law was unjust, then the judge had to agree with that. The judge cannot override the jury. Trial by jury also provided defense for the people against the government. It was a way of defense because this way the government couldn't just declare the person guilty without proof or say that a person is innocent even when the evidence says otherwise.
So does the 7th Amendment secure the blessing of liberty? Yes, it does, for both citizen to citizen and government to citizen. Let's start with a court case. Colgrove versus Batten. In 1973, Montana rules provided for a jury of 6 members in civil cases. Now, civil cases are for those for the court cases that are more like when you're being sued, something like that. Colgrove sought from the court a ruling to force Judge Batten to use a 12-member jury, as he claimed was a guarantee under the 7th Amendment. In a 5-4 vote, the court denied Colgrove's appeal and concluded that the 7th Amendment only guaranteed the right of trial by jury, but not the size of the jury. Judge Marshall was the only dissenting vote. He believed the framers of the Constitution intended the size of the jury to be 12. For citizens to citizens, they want to be able to have a court case with an external point of view in order to determine the verdict, rather than have a constant argument about who's right. Shagun said earlier that the American colonists were unable to have trials by jury under the British rule. So once they were able to be free and establish their constitution, this is something that they created. For government to citizen, trial by jury provide a defense against conviction from the government for criminal cases. Now, criminal cases are for stuff that would be killing someone, something like that. The citizens should not be judged as guilty for a crime they didn't commit without proper evidence, or innocent for something that they clearly did.
The source I chose to evaluate for this project was our book source from the book called The Words We Live by Linda R. Monk. And I looked through this book last week that Mr. Staub had it in the classroom, and I thought it was an excellent book. It was well written. It had all of the amendments, and it probably had a lot more. I didn't go through the whole thing, but it had all the amendments in there, and it was very detailed in giving a description of the amendments, but it was very simple and easy to understand. So I think that this book, I would recommend it for this project if we were still doing it, and then I also recommend it for the Liberty essay coming up. I think it's a really good source.